My good people, what's good? Welcome to the channel where we talk about music licensing, music business, and music production. Let me get this number thing out of my face so y'all can actually see me. If you love any of the previously mentioned, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest content. What's good? As you guys are coming in, man, let me know where you're from, what city you're from, what you do, and then we're gonna dig into this week's live show. I'm gonna start off, man, by just talking about mindset, man. Like, mindset is everything. So one thing I see a lot, man, if you go into a situation already doubting yourself or already being like super duper skeptical whether or not you can do it, it makes it kind of tough because you're kind of giving yourself an out before you even get started, because you're already putting that negative mind thinking and energy just in your brain. Like, you don't want to do it, man. Go into it knowing that you can do it because it's been done before. If somebody else did it, you can do it too. Like, it's been done before. So it's never a question of whether or not it can be done. It's a question of if you're gonna do the work to actually do it. And once you make up in your mind that you're gonna do the work no matter what, then you'll find that you can do whatever you put your mind to. So that's super important, man. Doing anything, like, it doesn't even matter. Getting placements, getting in the studio with artists, getting your music on TV and film, doesn't even matter. What matters is your mindset and whether or not you believe you can actually do it. So that's crucial, man. So let's see. We got somebody from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. That's what's up. We got Indiana in the building. What's up, TJ the drummer? Adriel. We got Hypnosis Beats from Utah. Producer One Mayhem and ATX. Dope. David Vrooman said he got to bounce. Will this be posted later? It absolutely will. So yeah, definitely feel free to come back, check it out. It'll be posted. So you can come back and get these gems. What's up, G Mac McCrae from Scotland? Shout out to you all the way out in Scotland, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, man, I'm on here for like the next hour. I'm an open book, so hit me with the questions. What kind of questions do you guys have? What are you struggling with? What challenges do you have? I'm here, man. I'm here to share what I know and hopefully get you unstuck. That's my goal, is to get you unstuck. What's up, Night Rider? And also feel free to share, man. If you know somebody needs some help on these topics, go ahead, share the stream, welcome them in, and we'll get these questions popping off. All right. So the first question goes to my guy Rome Herbert. The question is, what's good from Indianapolis? And if you ever listen to Fear and Feel Paralyzed, I create music for you to feel bold and move into greatness. This actually was not a question. I didn't read the whole thing before I posted it, but it's all good. But that's dope, man. To be able to create music that makes people feel bold and move into greatness. I think everybody needs that in their catalog for sure. So y'all check out my guy Rome Herbert. If y'all feeling scared and paralyzed, check out his music, man. He'll get you unscared and unparalyzed. Appreciate that, bro. Charles Jefferson, welcome back, bro. The question is, I purchased a feature from an artist to rap on my beat. When I post the song to streaming platforms, do I have to coordinate with their management? That's a good question. I would, honestly, I would have worked that out before I posted it. But since you're you're here now, or no, you didn't post it yet. When I post this, yeah, I would reach out to management and ask them if, like, do they want splits of the song sales, or did I just pay for the feature and then I just keep all the profits from that? Get that straight with them, and then they should be able to let you know. So yeah, just so you know, and just for peace of mind, that way ain't nobody coming back like, yo, you didn't pay me my cut. So yeah, definitely good practice. Producer One Mayhem says, bro, what's the first step in getting a placement? Well, it depends on what kind of placement. If it's a placement with an artist, like a major artist, man, there's so many different steps you can take. I think the first step is figuring out what kind of placement you want. If it's with an artist, now you got to figure out what's the best way to get your music in front of an artist. Is that going to be through a manager? Is that going to be through somebody else who works closely with the artist? Is that going to be through an A&R, or, you know, a studio exec? Is it going to be through booking some hours out at a studio and where, you know, different artists work, and then just vibing out in that studio till somebody walk past and hear what you're doing? Like, you know, it's different approaches to that. If it's as far as like a TV placement, your first step is figuring out what kind of music do you want to do. Like, are you trying to do commercials? Are you trying to do movie trailers? Are you trying to just, you know, do instrumental background cues? There's different areas you can work in for different placements. But that the first step is learning, you know, what kind of music you want to do, learning how to structure that music for TV and film, what they look for, and then just reaching out and researching companies that want that music and that pitches music for TV and film. So those are like the first few steps to get you started on the you can just go to ClintProductions.com and grab that. That'll help you get started. No doubt, Rome. I got you. It's all good. J Tempo, what's good? The question is, what are the steps to starting your own library to pitch to music supervisors? Man, so I guess it depends. So I guess the first thing is building up a catalog of music, right? Building up a catalog of music and have it organized in a way to where you can submit all the information music supervisors need. So that's metadata, that's writer splits, having agreements, publishing agreements, licensing agreements in place with all of the writers, all the producers involved on the tracks that you own in your catalog, unless it's just all your music. And then using a platform like disco.ac, super dope platform specifically made with music licensing in mind and music supervisors in mind. Using a platform like that to where you can share, you know, links and stuff and different pitches, to music supervisors. So do that. And then the most important part is building relationship with music supervisors. So you'll have to do some research and start finding music supervisors, take them to lunch, take them to dinner, like whatever you got to do to start building relationships with music supervisors, so that you'll have somebody to actually send the music to. So those are definitely the steps you have to take to do something like that. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming through, J Tempo. G McCrae, the question is, would you recommend making something unique or follow trends to get placements? Does it pay to stand out? So there's kind of a balancing act, right? So whatever is trending you're gonna see requests for naturally on the TV side of things. So whatever's trending in radio and on the charts, you're gonna see some requests for that, because they want those vibes. They want, the music that's popular. So you're gonna see those, and what I do is, I'll go off of the brief that's asking for something trendy, but I'm gonna still kind of make it my own, right? But then there's other opportunities where trend doesn't even matter. Like, they want something from that sounds like it's from the 70s or something. Like, I've seen briefs like that. Like, they literally want some music that sounds like it's from the 70s. They don't want it to be trendy. That's the dope part about making music for TV and film. It's just like, sometimes you do trendy stuff, sometimes you don't. It's all about what they want in the scene, and what, just what's needed in that moment. So you're able to kind of do both, and you're able to kind of balance both that way. So hopefully that helps clarify that. And does it pay to stand out? You want to do what you're best at, right? That's how you stand out, if you will. Just do whatever you do best, and then they'll come to you for what you do best. Great question. Hypnosis Beats says, what pays the most for beats? Man, the range is all over the place. There's no range. There's no like, oh, this is gonna get paid more. It's just like, I could have a kick and a bass, and that joint is gonna pay me just as well as a fully produced track if it's for the same, the same thing. Like, sometimes I'll send a full track with vocals and everything. I think vocals may make a little bit more, but anyways, like, they could take bits and pieces of a track and just use, a couple stems versus the whole thing. You're still gonna get paid the same amount. What really determines is, the length of usage, the network it's playing on, how many times it plays, different things like that. So there's no like, I know this is gonna make more than this one. It's you never know sometimes. So yeah, definitely depends. What's up, Floyd? Checking in from Jacksonville, Florida. Anderson Banks Jr., welcome back. The question is, so we should register our music to something like ASCAP or BMI? Yes, you will have to register your music with ASCAP or BMI or CSAC. Once you're with a library and they're pitching your music, that's how you actually collect your performance royalty. So when something plays on TV, radio, things like that, it generates a performance royalty. So you will have to be registered with one of them. A music licensing company is going to ask you, like, for that, they call it like a CAE/IPI number. They're going to ask you for that. So you definitely want to make sure you're at least registered with them. And then most cases, the music licensing company will register the tracks on your behalf, since they're kind of like the publisher. But yeah, definitely want to have that in motion. G. McCrae is back. He says, I bought your blueprint, which is great. How did you learn this stuff? Did you have a mentor yourself, or did you teach yourself the business stuff? That's a really good question, man. So I have a couple mentors, man, like people who just, put me up on game, especially when I was first starting out. So learn some stuff through those experiences, through those people. But a lot of it, man, is just learning. It's trial and error, man. Like the information that I'm giving you guys is information that I've either learned from making mistakes and not doing it the right way, or something I just learned along the way that I didn't know, because now we have the internet and a lot of information is out there, but if you don't know what to even search for in the first place, that's not even useful, right? So reading books, going to conferences, yeah, man, it's just a combination of experience, asking questions, and just looking up stuff myself. So yeah, like my whole point is to save you guys from taking the same, like, years and years of mistakes and stuff like that, and just kind of get to where you're trying to go a little bit faster, without having to go through the trial and error. That's the dope part about mentorship and, getting consultations from people who may be where you're trying to go, or who have already accomplished what you're trying to accomplish. Is like you can get insight, and know exactly what to avoid or what to do, just based off somebody else's experience, and you can get from point A to point B a lot faster that way. That's a major cheat code, man. Like I get consultations from people, even like just in business and different things, because they're at where I'm trying to get already. So, yep, that's where it's coming from. What's up, creative? All is well, bro. Hope the same. Herbie Brown, welcome back, man. Good to see you. Herbie says, thank you for being a gate opener as opposed to a gatekeeper. Much respect. Absolutely. I actually just got off of a radio interview, and we were talking about that, just scarcity versus abundance mindset, man. A lot of people are super scarce. They feel like they give some information away, it's gonna dry up whatever work they have, man. It's if you think that way, if you move through life that way, man, you're gonna be messed up, bro, because it's limiting, you know what I mean? You close doors on yourself by thinking that way. But if you approach everything with an abundance mindset and know that there's more than enough to go around, you won't have a problem sharing with other people, man. And then you'll find that you get more back, just from sharing with other people. You build relationships from sharing with other people. You expand your network from sharing with other people. So that's the key, man. Jake Handelman, what's up, Jake? I've been good, dude. Man, just working, chilling, and just trying to be great, man. Just trying to be great. The question is, how does the music business affect your life personally? I mean, I don't know. Like, I kind of separate the two if I can. Like, I have time for personal stuff, and then I have time for business stuff. But it doesn't. Every now and then, sometimes I can go into like workaholic mode, and then my wife got to be like, "Yo, you working?" And I'm like, "Oh, was I? I didn't even know." Like, sometimes I don't even be knowing I'm working. Like, but she'll bring me back to reality of like, okay, boom, got to put the phone away, to give them that quality time. But yeah, man, other than that, man, we kind of manage our time so that, we have that personal time, we have that personal life, and then we have the business time and the business life as well. It's just all about balance. Appreciate you coming through, Jake. Dave, what's up, Dave? Caught you at PMA yesterday. Love the channel and music sub. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. For those of you who don't know what PMA is, the Production Music Association. It's a secret society of composers. Nah, it's a dope organization, man, for people who are into sync music licensing, production music. So super dope. We had a nice little, it's like what they call like a little coffee chat and breakout sessions and things like that. So super dope organization. Shout out to Dave, man. Appreciate you coming through and subscribing. What's up, Samuel? Samuel says, I've partnered with 2 or 3 libraries I've heard partnering with 2 or 3 libraries is a good idea. How many libraries do you work with? That's a really good question. Because there's like different stages that I went through when kind of getting into this music licensing stuff, right? So when I first started, right, like my goal a few years back was to land 10 TV placements in a year. So to do that, I was kind of starting from scratch. I didn't have any relationships with libraries or anything like that. So my goal was to reach out to as many libraries as possible to start getting my music in as many buckets as possible. So when I started, I was reaching out to like 5 a day and just waiting for people to hit me back. Because what happens is you start with a high number, right? But as you get deeper into it, a certain amount of libraries are going to say, yes, we're accepting submissions. And then the number gets smaller. Then you go down to, okay, this could actually be a good mutually beneficial relationship, good contract. Then that number goes down. There's a random fly like in this. I don't even know how it got down here. But anyways, so that number goes down. And then the number of libraries that actually get you placements goes down. So by the time you like dwindle everything down from like all the companies you reached out to the ones that actually work and get you placements, you'll find yourself working with only like a handful of companies. And the fact that you literally only have 2 hands and so much time in a day to make so much music that you can only submit to so many people at once anyway. So once I kind of figured out which libraries worked for me after that initial phase of reaching out to a bunch of people, it ended up narrowing down to about I'll say about I'll say about 4 to 5 libraries that I'll probably submit to on a regular basis. And it just depends on, because briefs are coming, they're sending different briefs. But yeah, and it doesn't have to be a super huge number of libraries, because again, you can only send so much, you can only make so much music, you can only focus on so many briefs at once. So yeah, I think to start out though, you have to reach out to quite a few just to get those deals, and then to figure out which ones are actually going to work. And then from there, you can kind of narrow down to a handful and then just like hyper focus and just keep loading them up because they're working. So replicate what works. I appreciate you coming through, Samuel. Hopefully that helps. Excuse me. Thanks for answering all these questions. Do you do consultations? Yes, I do one-on-one consultations as well. Those can be booked at ClintProductions.com as well /services. So we do like one-on-one Zoom calls, and pretty much just give you tailored advice depending on your personal situation, and also throw in a few critiques on tracks during those one-on-ones. So they're pretty dope, man. I get to meet some super dope people on those one-on-ones, just like you guys. So no doubt, Jake. Jake says, which DAW do you use? I use Logic Pro 10 for music production. Occasionally I'll hop in Pro Tools if I'm cutting vocals. I love editing and recording vocals in Pro Tools for whatever reason. I don't know. It's just nice in Pro Tools. So yeah, but Logic is the go-to. G Murray, what's up? G Murray said, peace, bro. Thanks for your time. How long did it take you to break into the sync licensing world, and what was your regimen to get on? Man, so shoot, let's go back. Let's take you guys on a journey. So I first heard about sync licensing. My bad, I moved my hand and changed the focus. So I first heard about it in college. was collabing with a good friend of mine now, adding keys and stuff to his tracks. He had a licensing deal with a pretty reputable publisher, and yeah, he was just loading them up, sending them stuff, and was telling me about producing music for TV. I didn't really take action on anything at the moment, just kind of let it soak in. And I was still figuring my life out in college, like every college student is. So then fast forward maybe a few years after that, I decided to kind of go back and revisit that idea. So that's what, 2-3 years before I went back, revisited. So then I signed up with Taxi, went to the road rally, soaked in a bunch of more information, and decided like, yo, like I really want to pursue this. So was pitching stuff through them. I didn't land any deals, but I think the reason why was because my music wasn't ready, like quality mix wise. My structure was off, just a bunch of different things where it just wasn't working for your boy. So I had to take a few more years to really hone in and master my craft. So shoot, I say now we're at like five years or so. And then I ended up signing a publishing deal like 2011, something like that. And then that's when I eventually ended up landing my first TV placement. So I want to say from the time I learned about licensing in general to the time I actually landed a placement, yeah, I'll say maybe 5 years, 5 solid years. So that's when the road to 10 placements thing started. Like I kind of had a grasp. I knew that, you know, my quality was there, right? So now I spent the next year or 2 years just really figuring out what structure works for TV, especially more specifically like instrumental cues. So I spent a couple years kind of figuring that out, bumping my head, getting some rejections, getting some feedback, things like that. So it's definitely been a process, man. It didn't happen overnight. So yeah, man, it took a little bit. And the regimen, I wasn't on a regimen until I got that first placement. Once I got the first placement, that's when I made the decision that I want to focus on music licensing. Because at the time I was doing a lot. Like I was a gigging musician, trying to get stuff placed with major artists. So I was doing a lot, but I decided like, yo, like I'm about to lock in and focus on this. So then the regimen I started was, the first part was just submitting and reaching out to companies every day for like a month. Then after that, you know, you start taking meetings and calls and emails back and forth, learning about the process. And then once you get the deal started, then you're creating, then you're learning about metadata, then all of these things that it's just not, you just don't know until you get in it. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that's just like, I'm gonna get into music licensing and then this is what I'm gonna have to do. Like some stuff you just don't know what you're gonna have to do until you get into it. You're like, oh, this is different. So that's why I created the Road to 10 Placements course and blueprint. It's what I did to get started, and it's all the information that I use and that I needed to start getting TV placements. And I wish that joint was around when I got started, real talk. So, yep, hopefully that helps. ClintMusic says, did your friend pay you a one-off fee for playing keys, or did he give you some of the back end? Man, dude, I don't even remember. I don't remember how we did that. That's a good question. I don't think it was an upfront fee. It was just literally just on some collaboration. Like, I was just eager, man. I was like that eager musician in college. It's like, I'm just excited for the opportunity. I'll do anything for free. And like, honestly, man, sometimes you gotta do stuff for free just to build the relationship. Like, don't get screwed like on the business stuff, but like, don't be so focused on like, how am I gonna make money from this? Like, I'm not working with you until I know. Like, it was just chill, man. Like, we were both Buckeyes. We both went to the Ohio State University, so it was just a friend helping out a friend, man, and just kind of building a relationship. And then we're still friends to this day. Like, we'll meet up, have lunch every now and then, because we're in the same city now, and we just talk about business stuff, business ideas. He's a music supervisor as well, so he works on stuff occasionally. So it just grew from there, man. But I don't remember ever getting paid. But you know, I don't even know if they ever got placed. But we were both young, just getting started, and just learning together. So, and man, now that I think about it, I don't even think I knew that there was a back end. Like, this is crazy. You taking me back in time. I don't even think I knew. I didn't know like how the TV stuff worked. Like, I didn't know anything. It was just stupid. Isaiah, what's good? The question is, how long do deals normally last with libraries? Were the deals tricky, like you needed a lawyer, or were they pretty black and white? That's a good question. So normally they're about 2-3 years. That's been like the typical length I've seen. If you don't send something in writing before the end of that 2 or 3 years, it'll automatically renew. That's usually what I see. And as far as the licensing library deals, most of them were pretty straightforward, but that can be subjective, right? Like, I took contract law in college, so like I was kind of familiar with different elements of a contract and what to look for. So everything I didn't need like an attorney for. The first licensing deal, it wasn't a licensing deal, it was a publishing deal. I had an attorney review that because that one was kind of long, and it was a little bit long, but they reviewed that one for me, and that was it. But I always advise, man, like, at least for the first couple or like whatever, like if you're not comfortable and you don't understand, like, just pay a little fee to get somebody to look at it, man, because you don't want to sign something and not know what it's saying and not know what you're obligated to, and then look back and be like, oh man, like y'all tried to get over on me. Like, nah, bro, like it was in writing and you signed it. So make sure you know what that joint says so you don't have any regrets. And then once you see a lot of them, you'll start to know like the pattern, what's typical, what's not, what changes. They all start to look very, very similar after a while. So hopefully that helps, man. CCat1, do you mix and master your tracks yourself? How much time did you spend learning mixing? Man, y'all want to go on another journey? Like, you want to talk about mixing and mastering? Man, bro, like that took years too. That's what took me so long to really break into the licensing, because I had to learn how to mix and master. And I mean, I guess I could have outsourced, or like, no, I couldn't, because I was broke. I was in college, man. I ain't had no money, so I had to like learn how to do everything myself. So I couldn't outsource. I couldn't go pay somebody, a professional, to mix and master my tracks at the time. So I had to learn how to do it myself. So that took some years, and I'm still learning to this day, man. Like, mixing is just one of those things where you can always learn something. Now I'm in a place where, like, I know when my mixes are solid. I know when it sounds good and to leave it alone. But yeah, there's always little tips and tricks you can learn, but definitely a handful of years to get that down for sure. What do I use for mastering, or do you send to an engineer? So I use a few plugins. I throw it, and this is on my master track, like when I'm pumping up the volume and everything. I use, matter of fact, I'm gonna show you guys what I use. I'm gonna do a screen share. Let me open up a session, and I'll show you guys what I use. I just have to find a session where I used it. So let me get Logic open, and I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, so you can see kind of how I have things set up on the master track. But the reason why I'm glad I learned how to mix and master is because in TV and film, like a lot of people know, the deadlines can be super duper quick. Like, it can be today, like it can be in an hour. So I don't have time to reach out to a studio and be like, yo, like, I need you to mix and master this, or I need you to edit this. Like, I may get a request to make a quick change and then send it right back. Like, I can't be going back and forth waiting for Joe's schedule to open up to get my mix done. So I got to be able to turn around stuff quick. So I'm glad I learned how to mix and master, because everything is in my session. If I need to make an edit or change a sound, like, I can do it quick and bounce out another mix super quick. And it just allows me to have a faster turnaround time, and do what I need to do in licensing. And I can get records done so much faster, like, because I can mix everything myself. So let's see here. I got a super wide monitor, so I gotta adjust this window so y'all can actually see it without going blind. All right. Okay, so this is Logic. Everybody say what's up to Logic. So as you can see right here, I throw a tape on the master. This is from Slate Digital. I don't know, I guess it always spins. And then I have this FBC FG Red compressor just to kind of glue everything together on the master track, again from Slate Digital. And then I use the infamous FGX, also from Slate Digital. This is all I have on my master track. So this allow me to add extra gain if I need to, turn it down, and kind of mess with the transients and things like that to make sure it's hitting the same way before I put these on there, but it's just louder, so I can kind of make adjustments here. But this combination here is just super dope. It's super simple and easy. I just turn all those on, and then I make sure, like, this wasn't a full track, like this was me. I was on IG Live and did like a sample pack, literally live on IG. Super random, but it was dope. So this isn't like a mixed track, but a lot of times the tracks will be turned down really low to give myself headroom. So then by the time I come over here on my master, this is actually the master track, but on this master stereo track, by the time I bring this up to 0 or negative 0.1, and then I activate these plugins, I'm hitting right where I need to hit as far as volume, and then everything is loud and not clipping. So that's how I master. It used to be two different processes. Like I would mix everything and then just maybe put like a compressor on this master track and then leave it at that. And then I would bounce it out and then drag it into another mastering session. And I had all of these crazy plugins. But now I was just like, yo, why am I doing that? Going through all these changes. So I just simplified it and just threw everything on the master track and just adjusted my volumes on, all the individual tracks. So that's how I master. What's good, V Pro? V Pro says, how many libraries should you send at one time? So if you're just reaching out to find libraries to work with, as many as possible. And we kind of talked about it earlier, but if you're just reaching out, reach out to as many as possible so you can figure out which ones you want to work with. And then once you get to a point where you have deals in place, and you know which libraries work for you, submit to the ones that get you placements, and you can kind of figure out how you want to cycle those. It may be 3, 4, or 5. But there's no set number. It's really up to you and how much you can manage. If you can manage submitting to 10 different libraries, submit to 10 different libraries at the same time. It's up to you. Completely customizable is what I'll say. No doubt, Ingrid. Glad it helped. And thank you for coming through. Yeah, those are the secret sauces to my mastering. So yeah, for the new people coming in, man, let me know where you guys are from. What city are you watching from? And let me know what you do. I'm here answering questions. I'll be on for about 15 more minutes or so. So let me know what you guys are struggling with, what you're wondering about in regards to music licensing, business, and production. And I'll be more than happy to answer them. More than happy to answer them. Let me get this logic out the way. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying the info, man, smash the like button on this video so I know that you guys are rocking with it. Terrence from Cali, but moving back home to Atlanta. That's what's up. From Cali to ATL. That's a road trip right there. V Pro from Charlotte. Jedi Ya from Hinesville, Georgia. That's what's up. Producer, songwriter. Kingmatic Beats from Los Angeles. But I just sell beats online. Definitely been interested into getting into TV licensing. That's what's up, man. Yeah, man, add licensing to your revenue streams. You already got the beat licensing started. So now you can create another stream with licensing your music out to TV and film. I have a beat store as well. I keep them separate though. Like my beat store, like I just do leases. I don't do exclusives on my store, but I do leases. But I keep everything separate from the licensing because I feel like I don't want there to be like a bunch of confusion on ownership and people popping out the woodwork like, yo, they used my song on this show, like that's the instrumental to my song, and then they like stop everything royalty wise. So that's why I keep them separate. Cincinnati, Ohio, that's what's up. I got fam in Cincinnati. Yo, the last time I drove through Cincinnati though, those roads were rough. I don't know what that's about, but they need to get them roads together, boy. They almost tore my car up. That's Ohio though. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. So I know what those roads are about in Ohio. They've been doing construction on 75 for the last 15 years. Yeah. Those roads are crazy. Producer, beat maker, want to get into sync licensing. That's what's up, man. Yeah, sync licensing is dope. I love it. If you guys already couldn't tell. Chris said the roads here in ATL. Yo, man, I agree. Yo, they've been getting worse. Like there's this huge pothole by this Dunkin' Donuts. Man, this joint, like, and then they filled it with rocks, bro. Like, they filled that joint with rocks as if that was, I don't know what that was supposed to do, but the joint was like so wide, bro. Like, you can't even go around it. Like, you just gotta take it. Like, you just gotta drive over that joint and take it. I don't know. I was surprised because I'm like, yo, we don't get snow, winter, like ice. We don't get that stuff down here. So I was confused as to why this pothole was so big. Ohio, I understand it. Like the weather and the temperatures and all that stuff changing. Like, I get it. I'll accept it from Ohio. But Atlanta? Nah, man. Y'all got to get it together. Crazy, dude. Terrence said they put out 2 instrumental albums, but I want to submit them for syncs. Can I do something like that? Yeah, absolutely, man. But I would say, like, double check with the licensing company that you're submitting, like, that you're signed with, and just let them know, like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about releasing this as an instrumental album, like on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff. Cause just it depends on the agreement. And just check with them and make sure. But it shouldn't be a problem. But it's gonna depend on that agreement, man. Roger Hayes, what's up? Songwriter, manager, record label CEO, Houston, Texas, looking for help in sync licensing. That's what's up, man. You in the right place, bro. Hypnosis Beats said, how long did it take to start getting paid royalties? Okay, so from the moment it got placed, from the moment I learned about the placement, to the time I got placed, I want to say it was about roughly 6 to 9 months after I learned about it, before I seen royalties for that placement. Sometimes it could take longer because you're really waiting on that TV production company to send in the cue sheets to BMI, CSAC, and ASCAP. Until they do that, you don't see royalties. But the faster they do that, you know, the faster the pros can do what they need to do, and the faster you can get your royalties for that. But yeah, man, it took me, I think it took me like it's probably a good year and a half, man, to start seeing things move in an upward trend as far as royalties when getting started out. So keep that in mind, man. So you guys have like realistic expectations. Like, this ain't no, you know, I did 5 beats and now my royalties are like, you know, $2,000 a quarter. Like, it takes a while to build up. Unless of course you got like a sync, like on a commercial or like a movie, and you know, you got some upfront money, you know, sometimes you see that faster. But yeah, just to be transparent, and so you guys know, like, so you ain't surprised. And then some networks, like depending on what network you get a placement on, like that joint may be 15 cents, real talk. Or it could be like a major network, NBC, and then you see, you know, a couple $100. Like it's all over the place. Good question. Dylan Atkins, what's good? Dylan from Central Illinois, producer, engineer. If you send to music libraries for sync placements, do you send each music library a different catalog or collection of your music? Man, dude, like, why do you guys have the dopest questions? Like, that's a super good question. So if it's a exclusive deal with that music library, meaning you send like track A, B, and C to company A, or no, that's horrible. Track 1, 2, 3 to company A exclusively, then yes, you would send a different catalog, tracks 4, 5, 6 to company B. If it's a non-exclusive deal, you could send all of those tracks to company A, and if you sign another non-exclusive deal with company B, you can send those same tracks or that same catalog to company B as well. But both of them have to be non-exclusive. I see a lot of exclusive deals more so these days. So be prepared to, you know, create different tracks for different companies. Kingmatic Beat says, so for TV sync, are the instrumentals shorter? Yeah, a lot of, like, for instrumental cues, the background music, super short. Like I usually don't go past a minute and a half on those, and it gets the job done, man. Terrence Prather said, who do you use to submit for music licensing? So okay, so I get this question a lot. And I never answer it because I don't want to handicap people. I don't want to give you the fish. I want to teach you how to fish. And this is why. If I give you a company name, you reach out to the company. It may go great. It may not. It may go great though. You sign with the company. Company gets bought out by a bigger company, or they just shut down, or just something goes wrong with the company. Now you're back at square one. You don't know who to submit to because you only had a company name that somebody gave you, and you don't even know how to find companies for yourself. So the better question is, how do you find companies to submit to? And you can do that by searching on Google. Search music licensing companies, music libraries. Go through their catalog, go through their website, see if they, you know, represent music that you think your music would fit well with. And then what happens is, if anything ever happens to that company, you know how to go back and find more companies or new companies, and then your bread doesn't stop. You know what I mean? Versus if you just knew one company that worked for somebody, you know, once that stops, then boom, your placement stops, your royalty stops, everything stops, because you never learned how to fish. So that's why I always tell people, like, yo, like, learn how to find the companies. Don't just look for like the companies to submit to. There's a bunch out there. You just go a Google search. There's a bunch out there. But you have to find the ones that work for you. That's a part of the work. That's a part of the process of getting into music licensing. Even though I provide a directory with my Road to 10 Placements course, that's not to be like, this is the end all be all. That's just to kind of give you an idea of what these companies look like, and kind of give you a jump start and get you in the mode of doing research on companies, and doing your due diligence to find good ones. But more importantly, I want to teach you guys like how to find the companies, man, because that's that's what keeps you in the game for a long time. So good question, man. Thanks, Terrence, for asking that and for coming through. And then another way I'll let you guys know is like, yo, the credits, man. Like, everybody get up and leave after the credits, but if you read the credits at the end, you'll see music supervisor, music by, or, you know what I'm saying? They'll have, a lot of times they'll have a music library that supplied the music for that TV show or for that film or whatever. All that information is on there. So yeah, that's another way to find them. Dope stuff, Kingmatic. Yeah, dope. Yeah, creative. Like, more companies are definitely going more exclusive. Terrence said, also, should I copyright my tracks even if I'm submitting for sync? It's up to you, man. And what you feel comfortable with. Some people copyright them before submitting them. I personally don't, because I'm submitting stuff, like so much stuff, like I can't, it's too many. So either I'll wait, do a collection, or if it's like the little instrumental cues, man, I don't worry about copyrighting that stuff. I just send it and then, you know, make sure everything is registered. More importantly, I've never had an issue with like a music editor or music supervisor stealing my music. That would be really weird if that happened, but I've never had an issue, man. Now when I'm working with full songs, and if I'm submitting stuff to like artists, major artists or whatever, or, you know, that stuff, I may be a little more prone to the copyright, make sure it's protected. But yeah, man, the instrumental stuff, I really don't worry about the whole copyright aspect of it. I got the sessions, making sure the joint is registered with the pro, and then I'm good to go from there. Yeah. So yeah, man, if you guys want to learn more just about that process and how to get started, just go to clintproductions.com, grab that free 6-step guide to get started. And yeah, man, hopefully it helps you guys. Like I said, man, I spent a lot of years just kind of learning, bumping my head, things like that. But this will help you kind of get from point A to point B faster without having to learn. And well, you still want to learn, but, you know, making the mistakes and trial and error process, man, you can skip all of that. So that's there as a resource for you guys. I'm about to hop off here. I appreciate you guys coming through. Again, if you like the information, smash the like button, and this will be up, man, so you guys can kind of rewatch it and go back and soak in the gym some more. And I'll catch you guys next week, man. Until the next one, peace.